Ray seconds.
Okay. Was everybody here?
I was not, right, I wasn't here, was I?
No,
No,
just
you-
Councilman Stillo. So
Why do
Greg,
I think there was only 3 of us, though?
Kavinsky was here. No, Steve, yeah.
Steve was here. Everybody was here except John.
Okay.
So Gray,
Yes.
Melvin,
Yes.
Stillo,
Steve?
Slack.
Yes. All right, motion to pay bills. Payment of bills presented in proper form signed by the director of each department, approved by the majority of members and listed on the bill list. Does anybody have any questions or concerns about their bill list for this month?
Nope.
I don't see
There
it.
is some larger bills, just so everybody knows, for storm cleanup, but we're paying it out of the stormwater recovery account that we currently have, and then that'll be submitted to FEMA
FEMA.
for, right, a 75% reimbursement.
Okay.
Well, I move we pay the bills.
Thanks. Good idea.
Okay. Gray,
Yes.
Melvin,
Yes.
Stillo,
Yes.
Slack.
Yes. Chief, how are we on getting caught up? Are we all
Yeah,
clogged?
I think we're not fully caught up, but it's way more than we ever were before.
Okay.
Yeah. Right, Wayne, this.
Yeah, I think, she's great. I
Yeah,
think we've made a lot of progress
Yeah.
in every avenue.
even on this bill list, there's still stuff we're catching up on, but, she's working with them to make sure they're going through, they each have a list that they're going off of, and I know that the company isn't all,
Okay.
they're getting their stuff, yeah.
How far back is she willing to go to look through things to make sure there's nothing that was missed?
No, so we're going based off of what ELP is just telling us we owe them.
No, I'm saying in general as far as the bills, not just the ELP, but I'm saying, is she going back beyond Joe or is she?
No.
Okay.
No, but there's no really reason to.
Okay.
We're pretty much caught up except for the engineering, which was all the escrow. Otherwise, besides escrow, everything's up to date except for a straggler here and there from, I know we got 2022 bills, for this one, but it was just the company went, oh, we didn't realize we didn't get paid for it. And now they're sending us the bill. They were minor too. a couple
And it was
$100.
all escrow money, so it's not like we didn't have the money to pay it then.
Correct.
Right.
Yep.
It's not like we gotta find the,
Right, even on this, there's at least one, maybe 2, that are hands going through all the escrows and closing out the ones that are no longer needed and then giving the money back,
okay.
that to the money that's owed to the people.
Right,
Were there any instances where there was not enough in escrow?
Not that I've heard of yet, she hasn't told me that.
Good. Because that's gonna be a hard ask, I think.
Yeah.
All right, public comments. Anybody have any public comments pertaining to agenda items and agenda items only? Please come forward, sign in, be recognized. Means we don't have any public. We're gonna pass it over to, see if I can get this right, Brad Higginbottom.
Yes, sir.
He is from Solar Landscape, and this is a proposed project to be on the backside of 1200 Route 22 Phillipsburg, otherwise known as the Phillipsburg Mall. This would be the, lack of a better term, the Petrucci property / Santini in the back where they're talking about potentially some development on the Lopakon portion and a small part on our side as well. So with that, I'll turn it over to you, Brad.
Thanks. I did provide a presentation, but I'm not going to do the presentation. It's just really for background here. So.
I mean, just outline what it is you guys propose and what you need from us,
Okay.
and
So
that's about it.
It's rooftop solar. It's what's called New Jersey Community Solar. This program started in 2018. There's been 2 rounds of a pilot program. Now they've finally done a permanent program, and we need to get our applications in within the next few weeks here. So community solar is where we do put solar on a large warehouse roof, or we use storage facilities, really any large commercial building that they're not using the roof here. And typically a warehouse uses very little electricity. They drive around with their forklifts with propane on the back, and if they were only using electricity for what they were doing, it'd be a small corner of it. But in this way, we can do up to 5 megawatts on the roof. We can cover, most of the roof or all of the roof. And then the electricity does not go to the building, it goes to the grid. we get credits from the electric company, in this case JCP&L, and then we can give those credits to households, 51% of which have to be low to moderate income. So when we do a project like this, we believe that in community solar, that is, if this project's selected and once we build it and it turns on, we're ready to get subscribers, we want to come back to you and work with you to kind of direct, who we solicit from originally, so the subscribers come from Cohasset Township. Going forward, it's going to be where anybody in JCP&L can sign up for your project, but we can kind of circumvent that by coming to you. We'll do targeted mailings to low to moderate income households at our expense. We can do social media, we do, table it at any other events, farmers markets, things like that. So at the end of the day, right now, our projects from round 2, we offer 21% to people, but if we work with the municipality, it's typically 25%. So that's off your electric bill, no credit fee, no sign up, no buried exit if you have to move. People say, it's too good to be true, but this is not like an aggregation. This is a straight discount off your electric bill. And at the end of the day, the whole thing works. We're paying lease money to the property owner. We do make money on this, and we're offering good, nice discounts to people. It's particularly made for people who can't have solar on their own roof. That is, you live in an apartment, condo, trees are too tall, you don't want to cut them down, your roof's bad, you can't afford it, it doesn't matter, you sign up. I've been on this almost 2 years in Bound Brook on a 20% program. I've saved like $550, so it's, I can always use that money for something else. So, what else can I tell you here?
So I think you answered one of my questions, is the property holder, right? So in this case, the warehouse itself has got to buy in.
Right.
It would have to be part of a lease program.
We have a lease with them, we're leasing their roof.
And so that's where they're getting income coming in from the lease of their roof. Because I was asking you, well, what's in it for them, right? Number one.
They're not using their roof, it's like, it's a good deal.
Okay,
So-
so they're not benefiting from the output of the electric, it's just, that's actually going.
Not really, the only real benefit to them is they can brag about ERG if that's important to them.
Yeah.
Some are.
Social
some aren't.
awareness or something
Yeah.
like that. Okay, but they're, the only financial, gain from them, from their perspective, is true financial, is coming in from the lease.
Right, right. And we're careful, I mean, most warehouses now are constructed where they can hold solar. Obviously, we have our engineers check it out, if it's, it's no good, we're not gonna do the project. And yes, we've already checked them out. We do everything we need to through the township, permitting, if we need to go to the planning board, zoning board, whatever, we do all that, but we'll get all the permits.
I wonder how this is being looked upon as far as land use, about this part of the site plan, I would think.
Right.
And you're so far ahead now, it wouldn't be an issue to get it on.
In the original Grammar, we talked about that, I thought. But that's.
Most redevelopment areas, rooftop solar is a permitted use.
It's everywhere.
Yeah.
No, it's everywhere. I have no issues with it at all.
Now,
Right.
the residents, who do they actually buy their electricity from then? Do they
It's still, JCP&L is still your electric company. If something goes wrong, you call them, the wires don't change. This is just, it's called remote net metering, where, we're producing electricity, we're getting credit for it, but at the end of the day, it's just a billing.
So they'll still pay Jersey Central.
Right.
There'll be a discount on their bill for
Right.
the solar part.
And that's kind of a change. Right now, we have to go through a company called Arcadia, they do our billing for us. You pay your whole bill to Arcadia, the discount's applied, and then they pay JCP&L. Going forward, they finally passed consolidated billing, where JCP&L will still give you the same bill, you'll see the discount on it. It's pretty kind of simple and there's no confusion about it. So, and part of that's been, people on LIHEAP, well, LIHEAP is a, national, pays money to low-income folks for their utilities. They will only pay the utility. So for us, okay, now we have to go to Arcadia, you get a $600 credit on your JCP&L bill, and you can't do anything with it. So it's kind of messed up, but they're fixing it out in consolidated billing.
How many residents would you suppose, we would be looking forward to partaking in.
Like 600, 700, all depends.
So it's gonna be more than just little old Paul Hackon gonna buy into this, then I'm sure.
Like I said, there's no local too, but we're willing to do, yeah, what we're willing to do is work with you first, try and get your people signed up first.
Is there, I guess, I mean, when you came here, is there a specific project you have in mind? Like, in other words, have you specifically mentioned the mall?
It's on, yeah, it's on there, it's like page 4 or 5 in that.
It's Petrucci's property.
Yeah,
They gotta get
it's
us to endorse
1200 Route
it,
22.
where they, apply to, who do you have to apply to, BPU?
Yeah, New Jersey BPU.
BPU.
And
Is that the actual mall?
Yeah, it's the mall.
no, they're
It's
building
behind
a
it.
warehouse, they're building a warehouse.
No.
No, the mall up front, I
It's the
think. You're talking
front.
about the,
I think it's the cute,
The cheetah, that's what
No, it's not, it's Petrucci's property, the one in the back. The one that we're still waiting for him to get the line.
well, I'm looking at the
Yeah,
exhibit and it's showing.
That's the only
Yeah,
picture
but
I
it
have.
does say, you're
I-
saying it's back
I
here.
can get
Okay.
you the artist's,
All right, because at the top it says Petrucci, you
Petrucci.
probably don't have an address because there's nothing there.
right.
Okay.
Right, that was my panic
Yeah.
when I first saw it, I'm like, the wall, and I thought it was gonna be ground mount, I'm like, man, this isn't good, but then after we spoke, clarified it.
Yeah,
Is this limited to just that project, or would you be open, because there's a couple of,
They just don't know what Petrucci is.
we're open to anything, but for this round, this is kind of what we have. We want to talk about more, and the mayor was talking to me about, you have land that we could possibly use. There's a new program coming out, Senator Bob Smith put it through and it's passed, but they haven't fleshed out the rules here, where the municipality can have a program. And again, we work with you, there's no cost to you, we pay for it, we do everything, we also take the incentives, but at the end of the day, we either, if it was your land, we'd pay you lease money, and then set up with a power purchase agreement that you get less than you're paying now for your.
sorry, Mayor. Can I just ask one question? Did they approach you, or did you approach them?
We approach them.
Okay.
We currently have 54 active, approved, almost, either done or almost done projects going already.
That's their business. That's what they.
No, but I'm just,
I'm saying, we
so-
can approach
projects, yeah.
I mean, Doug's big on this stuff.
Yeah, but where I'm going is, we've got other warehouse projects that are further along than this one, and this one's the most contentious of the ones. Has this been put there to sweeten it up? That's where I'm going.
Yeah.
Just thinking
Could very well be.
Yeah.
We're willing to talk to anybody, we probably are talking to some of them. We don't know what other commercial solar companies are doing, so that they may have things in the works with them, although it's a requirement from BPU that I get a letter from the mayor saying, they call it a letter of support, I'm sorry.
I mean,
So this is gonna, I mean, this is only on Lopat's side of the,
it's,
back
well,
behind where the residents were up in arms about?
right, it's a piece in the back. Some of it's gonna be on our property, not, or when I say our, Paul Hackon, not much. Most of it's gonna be in Lopakon. But he's here, he needs us to give him a letter of support to take to the BPU saying we bless this project, that it could move forward as far as the solar business. Now, that's not to say that the warehouse gets shot down, then he's back to square one.
Right, but we're still putting this forward as a proposal, and we hope it comes together, so.
I mean, to Kevin's point, you might be right, this may be sweetening up to lessen the impact of, the warehouse, but that's not for us to.
Oh, yeah, on our side.
Right.
And this isn't a quick process, right? Like, it's like any other BPU application. It's gonna
Right,
sit
well,
for a while and
They
that's why
came
you're
with-
putting it in now is my
The
point.
first 2 rounds, it was a scored rubric where we developed a whole workforce development thing, because that got points. We were giving away car chargers, because that got points. Now it's just any project that's qualified, including the letter of acknowledgement from the mayor, submitted the first 10 days, they act like that's first come, first served, they're gonna treat them all the same. The tiebreaker is gonna be the discount rate we offer. So we're not even sure what the discount rate's gonna be, but it's probably gonna be higher than we're doing now. So last round, there was 800 megawatts applied for, and they awarded 160. We got 52 of them. So we are the top community solar provider in New Jersey.
And I guess that's just my point to everyone is just that, you guys put in a lot of applications because you're not gonna hit on all of them. They're not all gonna pan out. It's just, you apply and you hope, you know, you get a good success rate and, you know.
Throw it up, you don't want it to wall and
Exactly.
something
There's gonna be
sticks.
225 megawatts of projects awarded, and yeah, we want them all.
So hypothetically, because there's a lot of question marks around this project, let's say you get the award from DPU to go ahead, grant, whatever you want to call it. The project doesn't move forward, can you reallocate that?
Not per se, we'll be able to resubmit like the next round. And this has been a slow start. This was passed in 2018. First solicitation was 2019, the next one was 2021, and they took forever to do this stuff because of COVID. Now they're saying they're gonna do every year. So whatever doesn't happen this year, we can submit for next year. It'll be another 225 megawatts next year.
Well, why this project, when there's other ones, like you said, that are so far along, why this one? Because this is the one that, I mean, in my plan, I will not allow a warehouse back there, and I can stop it.
Okay. Well,
Because there's contention with our,
neighbors.
well, people right there, and it's right there off the residential, and, you know, we had this place packed, and you see there's no one here tonight.
Yeah, but correct me if I'm wrong, you guys just look for potential, or you look at potential projects as they pop up around the
Right.
state. And you just submit applications on any of those projects. You're not, nobody came to you and said, hey, we're gonna put up this contentious project. You
Right.
went out and you saw there's a project, here's a project. So another one of your colleagues could have already been on the thing on New Brunswick Avenue or any place else, is that?
As far as we know, except if they're in Cohasset, they better come and talk to you, or they're not gonna.
Yeah, I got that part, yeah.
It's a
Now,
great
the next,
I like the program.
So do I.
yeah, the next part of it is,
Wrong
is
warehouse.
some of it's in one town and some is in the other town. Does that check, does the percentages or
No, it's
anything?
fine.
It doesn't matter, so
Yeah.
it's still available to us.
You don't even need to,
Even-
does it have to be in the town that you're,
Yes.
okay,
Well,
at least partially?
At least part of it has to be in the town.
Partially connected in the town.
it says, oh, I'm gonna read it. It says a letter of support from the mayor of the municipality, which is located, which,
No, it's gonna be in two towns, that's what I'm saying. So you need to go to Lopat also.
not really.
No?
I don't know, I'm gonna ask.
You can make your connection.
I gotta go back and check, yeah, you put that in my head here, because, yeah, you told me that before.
Do you have that letter of support with you? Or did you-
Yeah, I sent it.
Wanda, do you have it?
Emailed it out to us.
Yeah,
I didn't print it for you, Mayor. I have it.
That's fine, yeah, put it on your letterhead if you like, most people like to do that, and just email it to us, it's fine.
All right, so
I'll come pick
does
it up.
anybody have issues supporting this project? Not the warehouse per se, but the idea of the solar on it. That's all we're talking about.
But for us to support the warehouse, we have to support, and like, so if we say no to the warehouse, then this is not gonna happen.
Right, moot point.
Yeah, but they're two
That's fine.
separate items.
I mean,
But they are
Totally,
joined, though.
it's got nothing to do with the warehouse. What we're doing is supporting a solar project on a warehouse roof if the warehouse gets
It's
passed.
the
But
warehouse.
on the warehouse, we don't want that.
We're not talking about the warehouse tonight. We're only talking about a solar project on
Correct.
something there, if
Correct.
there was something there.
Right.
I don't know if I agree with that logic.
I don't either.
No?
You're right.
If
Whatever.
we already have, so why are we gonna support it? I'm saying, if this was the cubes, I'd say yes in a second. If this was
Exactly.
the Monopond, I'd say yes in
The
a second.
cubes is in
If we
front.
only have 15% of that property, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, it's de minimis amount.
Why are they not going to Lopat and not here?
You know why.
Everybody in Lopat probably makes over the,
We didn't even talk
Over
to
the
them.
threshold.
I wasn't even aware of that, because the address, I look at the tax record, it says Cohasset, that's how we pull this apart.
I would agree with Councilman Stoll. I think this is an awesome program. I think this is just the wrong project, because I think whether they're, in your mind, Steve, I appreciate they're two separate things, and I can understand your perspective, but the optics around it looks like you're supporting one if you bless it. That's my opinion. And so, I do think that there are other projects, and given the fact that the majority, significant majority, maybe 80% of the project sits in, Lopat, I would expect Lopat to be the one who gives the sort of blessing there. And that's probably.
I'm gonna take that back to our legal team and.
More contentious.
Make sure. But what I'm saying, it's called a letter of support, it's really not, you're really just acknowledging the project, supporting the benefits that be to the town. I'm not.
I mean, I'd be willing, Mayor, to put together a letter of support for other projects in the town, just to say, we think this is a great idea, we'd like to see this be explored for other pieces of the township, parcel of the township. I just don't want to associate this project.
Your thoughts, Ingrid?
I absolutely agree with Kevin. I think we have a lot of rooftops on 22, Walmart, Stop and Shop, and so on, that could use solar panels, so I'm not for that. I just wondered what the cutoff was for, you said low to moderate income. What's the ceiling for moderate income?
Moderate income is to 80% of the median income. There's a chart, I can look it up, because there's like
Township?
7 different zones.
Of the
It's by
township,
county,
state?
it's by county, yeah. So for Warren County, I can look it up what
So
it
it'd
is.
be Warren County, moderate income, talking about the bottom, right? Low to the bottom of the moderate,
Right.
not to the top of the
And
moderate.
then, yeah, 51% of the project has to go to low to moderate income. And that's the thing, if there's a project going and we have a solar project going, we'll come back to you and say, you know what, let's do these housing
Let me
authorities.
just appreciate that comment. 51% of it has to go, 51% of what?
Of the total energy. So, yeah, if I'm doing little apartments, I gotta do more than 51% to get to 51% of the total energy.
Okay.
So,
What's your thoughts, Steve?
Yeah, I look at it, just look at it differently.
I'm like you, I look at it differently.
Yeah.
We're looking at the solar, whether it's.
I just think it's that whoever is picking his projects and running his business is doing a lousy job at looking for
At
projects.
soliciting projects.
Yeah, that's
No,
what
I
I
would
think.
agree.
I think that whoever's in your office is doing a shit job.
I'll tell them.
So that's just the way it is,
To
you
be
know?
fair-
And that there's plenty other projects, like they
Right.
said, plenty other projects, plenty other places to put solar. I don't think he's here to sweeten the pot for that project at all.
It's actually, we have a relationship
Yeah.
with Petrucci. He has several projects throughout the state
Mhm.
we're submitting on, and this happens to be one of them. So I'm gonna go talk to the business development person too.
Yeah,
about-
but like they said, I mean, there's a mountain of stuff around, I don't know what you're doing. If I was in that business, I'd be out trying to make, make
We
money.
should probably talk about that.
So, I'm not talking about it, it's your problem, not mine.
You're right, sir.
So, I got enough to do.
Yeah, like I said, I was all for it until the piece of property you picked, because like, I'm only one vote, but I will not support a warehouse on that land. And so we support something that, I won't ever, do. And so,
Right.
like I said, you'll get the approval, but then when it comes to, they have to get our approval to build a warehouse on there, unless they cut off more property to all low pat, then it's all low pat, right? So what happens then it's all low pat? Nothing POAT, all low pat, do we still get the credits?
See, I would,
Yeah, the credits will be available to anybody. It's
Okay.
actually done by the whole GCP&L
Yeah.
territory, and like I said, we're so happy to work with you to.
Yeah, because like I said, 'cause it's just like I said, this has been a very contentious project here, and even the snippet that we are, even looking to, support, even show a little support, it could get,
And I think for me, the one out would have been, if you would have been able to reallocate to a different parcel. So in other words, if you got from BPO the award, and you could then say, this never went forward, because even if we kill it, then it doesn't go forward, then you could apply it to somewhere else in the township. But what I'm hearing is it's parcel
Yeah,
specific.
submit by
Yeah.
a certain project and go from there.
So one more question. Say, we never approve a warehouse there, but somehow LoPat does, right? Whole building's over there. If we say no to you tonight, we can't get the benefit from this program, or you'll come back, if you get it approved, you'll still come back to us and say, it's approved, can we still do it? Because I just would hate to see the thing goes up anyway, and then we make a
And then
decision
we're really
tonight,
screwed, yeah.
and now you can never give that benefit to your,
That's
to
a
your
fair one, but I also
constituents.
heard him say that anybody can go onto the JCP&L thing and sign up.
Right,
So
so,
we can get the word out. to the
exactly, so as
township.
long as you have the
Yeah,
option
if you
available,
put
then
a word
there's no
say that,
loss.
as long as in not 1 foot on POAT property, that,
But even just the support of it, I
Yeah.
think is.
I would understand why any other warehouse would want to do the same thing, because, you're paying their taxes for crying out loud,
Yeah,
by putting that on the roof.
Actually, solar there's very little ad valorem.
Well, I say, well, you wouldn't put all that stuff on my roof unless I was getting a good buck.
Yeah, he's.
No, he means you're paying the warehouse.
I think the leases probably pay their taxes, you know, and
It's a great
and
program.
I don't know why, you
Love the
know,
program.
yeah, I don't know why.
What's your
anybody
cutoff
would
to
do
the
it.
BPU as far as when your application is?
November 15th.
So it's here, like you.
But yeah, I mean, my thought is really November 1st, because then we're gonna make sure all our projects are valid and whatever.
I'm hearing the 3-2 at this point, the way it seems.
I would encourage you to look at other parcels, talk to
Yeah,
whoever's in the
it'd
office.
be too late for this round, but we certainly will.
Yeah. I mean,
Definitely come back. I mean, like.
You've got multiple facilities, as Councilwoman Gray just mentioned, you know, that are in the township along the corridor. There's plenty of great sunshine that comes in the back. That's why we grow so much. So,
There's about 1.2 million square feet approved already.
Right.
With other sites, if, you know.
Not that some of us are happy about that, but.
yeah.
I won't say the praise of the warehouse, other than it's good for our business.
Yeah.
It doesn't put kids in schools, it does pay taxes, it does provide jobs. You don't always like the way you look, and you certainly don't have to deal with the truck traffic. So we understand. I was a councilman 9 years in Danvers, a councilman during Floyd for flooding, so it's aware of the cleanup issues, and I was still.
We've had some good floods here too.
Yeah.
So,
Wanda, let's just make this official and call.
I just have one question. How many projects do you go to, like, we're suggesting, do Walmart's route? How many projects like that have you been?
Walmart typically owns the rights to their own roof, and they have solar programs, and that's not somewhere we've broken into. We do have like a nationwide program going with, self-storage things. Some of the companies we're dealing with here, Petrucci's kind of local, but we're starting to deal with Prologis and those companies that have a nationwide footprint. Because we're looking at community solar in Illinois and Maryland and New York and Pennsylvania when it opens up, Ohio when it opens up. So we do look for companies that have a bigger footprint. But yeah, Walmart, we'd love to be dealing with them. They're dealing with other people right now.
But they're not the only building in the mall, it's like the mall owns the buildings, right?
National Realty.
National Realty.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you, like,
Yeah.
National Realty and said, look at all that great space on top of Home Goods.
There's about 200 worthwhile commercial real estate owners in New Jersey. We talk to them all. We're a member of NAIOP, which is the Association for
Well, I guess.
Commercial real estate.
I'm sure you
Yeah.
do, but
No,
that's where I'm
you're
coming from.
delving into our business with good questions. It's like-
So now let me ask you another question, and I don't want to beat a dead horse here. You say you have a relationship with Petrucci.
That is, we have several projects we're doing.
And he's the one doing this, correct?
Correct.
That wants to do it.
That's what I heard.
So now that actually changes the light on the thing a little bit.
So,
You wanna
Yeah,
call,
so, yeah.
call roll
Okay,
on this?
I'm gonna say the motion is to authorize the mayor to send a letter of support to Solar Landscape regarding a proposed solar project at 1200 Route 22, Block 1, Lot 1, lot behind the
we have a
mall.
motion.
So that's the motion.
That's the
So
motion.
who's making the motion? Where's the second? Because it's dying.
I'll make the motion.
And I'll second it, so at least it gets to a vote.
Okay, and then I'm gonna say
Now I'm
Babinski,
gonna say no, actually.
Gray,
No,
Melvin,
No.
Stillo,
No.
Slack.
I'm gonna have to go along with everybody else.
There, that's fine.
Yeah.
That's it, that's why we came here, you know.
And that's what I said, I don't make decisions on myself.
100% agree with you, I've spent enough time on council, we don't want to surprise people. And we talk things out and go from
And again,
there.
this project's a bit of a poison pill. So
I
I would
I'm
recommend.
honestly.
Any other warehouse
Another warehouse,
is already
come
approved,
back and.
you would've gotten 5 yeses.
We'll be back next year. so
Yes.
That's fine.
100%, so yeah, any other place.
Okay, I appreciate your time and honest discussion, and I honestly don't think our business development folks knew all the issues here, and I'll certainly be.
Nothing else.
Yeah.
Right.
Nothing else
They will
was
now,
interesting.
so.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
fine.
It was interesting.
Very interesting.
Okay.
Thank you. Great
Take
project.
care, thank you for making the trip up, I appreciate
No
it.
worries.
All right, attorney's report, Kevin's not here tonight, so we don't really have much from him. He didn't submit a written report either, did he, Wanda?
No, I didn't know he wasn't coming.
Yeah, he texted me like 5:30. I left him off the hook, but next time won't be so. Anyhow, we'll move on to, engineer's report. Wayne?
Sure. So just an update to say we don't have an update on the, this year's local aid, road projects. My guess is we'll have it before next month, because they usually like to do that before the elections.
Wayne, before I forget it, not to interrupt, the extension for Ohio Avenue, was it granted or not?
Yeah, that's our next one. Technically, we're voting on it tonight,
Okay?
so, I think we submitted it already.
We did submit it,
Yes, they've received acknowledgement. This is
Okay.
really.
and they approved it.
Yes, so
Okay.
tonight you're just,
More or less
again,
rubber stamping
confirming
it.
that we, through the resolution that we want to request the extension, which will get us 6 more months. They're going at a push to the state right now to look through all open ones, and they're just trying to cancel every single thing and claw their dollars back to do what, I don't know. But, we may even have to request a second extension, because this isn't in our control. It's sitting at the DEP, and they're admitting that they're dragging their feet. So, we can't we have 2 projects, actually. We could do one, but you can't, it's a waste of money, because until we get the culvert, approved, that's where most of the money goes. And my opinion is we do this as one project and have one giant pool of money, it'll get a lot more done. We probably have, I think it was 500,000 to do this, so, it should be a well-funded project. On Pinter's Point, so the unit terrain was awarded the bid. We have a pre-bid meeting scheduled in about a week. We're working on getting a pay request over to DOT, try and get money up front, so that, we have it in hand to start the project. That's always the goal. So that's kind of the step we're at right now of, getting that authorized, and then, we'll hopefully be kicking them off in a week. Vangelli Park, as I noted, second go around, we still had no bids. We called people, they picked them up, they paid for the packages and told us they bid, and none of them bid.
The hell do we do, Wayne?
We wait till spring, because the only feedback I could get is they say, all these DOT projects are coming due, and everybody's trying to get their road paving done before the end of the year, and it's all funded with that, so that's what the push is,
Where
get
all
the
the-
roads done.
all the
Yeah, so they
work's
can't
going.
seem to break themselves away, to do it. We even called the contractor building the same courts in Phillipsburg right now, and he didn't bid on it. It's the same project.
So with regard to Green Acres, we're just documenting the fact that we're doing our
We're
due
trying.
diligence,
Yeah.
trying to get
Mhm.
people in.
Yep.
And that way, if they come knocking on our door, here's our documentation, that we keep making attempts.
Yep.
Okay.
Pershing Avenue, again, just a reminder that, we got the scope modification, and, the reason we did that was we wanted a project that we could do without municipal funds. So, it's good news that the modification was approved. We have about a year to spend that money. So it's maybe as part of this next year's budget, just something to think about, is we might just want to allocate a small amount of money to get the thing designed and approved, so that we don't lose that money. But I think we have 1 year left, basically, on that grant. I think it was like 80,000.
That was your Persian.
Yeah, we turned a road paving project into a drainage project at Jeff's suggestion. We had our EPA sewer inspection a couple weeks ago. We were all sweating that one, but it actually went very well. They seem much more interested in helping us than, bringing a hammer down on anybody. The reality of the situation is that the reason that we're looked at all is because of Phillipsburg's problems, which they're still horribly out of compliance with. We paid for that sewer study with Remington and Vernick. Remington and Vernick can't even get an answer from their own people as to the status of this report. I don't know what is holding it up, but nobody can seem to get an update on what's holding this up. We made the EPA aware of that.
Is there a balance due to them? Was it like paid a certain amount up front and a certain amount of completion?
I think a good percentage of it's been paid for. The work is done. At this point, they should just be analyzing it and tell us what our problems are.
Yeah.
But, you know, the EPA was gonna try and lean on them as well, to move this ahead. I mean, we really need that to figure out what our next steps are, but, you know, under the EPA's rules, we have, you know, a requirement to do a certain number of these studies every so often, and we have to also be working towards, when we find the leaks, resolving them. And it's also actually part also of our sewer agreements with Phillipsburg, is we're supposed to be doing this on a 5-year basis, and then mitigating what we find. So nobody's ever pushed us, but now the EPA has their eye on us because of Phillipsburg. We only have one deficiency, believe it or not, and that is that we don't have an O&M manual for our township. So we have 6 months to complete that. And again, I provided an, you know, assumed budget of about $5,000 to write one of those. And, you know, again, we're not on the clock yet. They said the official notice will go out in November, and we'll have 6 months from that time frame to do it. And I've been singing Jeff's praises, but I'll do it here publicly too. I think when they talked about sewer overflows, we have the fewest out of any sending municipality. And that, I think, is a huge credit to what they do on a day-to-day basis, solving those problems before they become, you know, things that get discharged. He keeps the residents happy, and that's what keeps calls from getting made to the EPA that would otherwise show up on those reports. So, you know, he gets a call, they know to call him, and he solves the problem. So I think that's really, you know, that really sold them on what we're doing here.
And Wayne, O&M acronym for?
Operations and maintenance. So
Okay.
it's something you're required to have that goes through your whole systems and talks about all the different components and, you know, your procedures, your schedules, you know, things of that nature. You know, everybody's supposed to have one based on what your system is, so no two are alike. But, you know, we got a bunch of examples from them of what they're looking for, you know, from the EPA.
Okay.
The other good thing they did say too is like, going forward, if we ever, like when we get the results of this study, we're gonna have to tell them what our plan is to mitigate some of these problems and put schedules on it. However, she was pretty clear that, you know, she understands that, you know, budgets only go so far and priorities change. So as long as we keep them advised of our schedules, the schedules can even change as long as we keep them up to date. And that's going to be really the key, is just, you know, being communicative with them. We were probably the second municipality to get inspected, and supposedly, you know, once they come to the area, they're trying to hit everybody. So your Alpha, your Greenwich, your Lopat, theirs is coming as well. But the list of things that I saw on their pages was a lot more extensive. As I think last month we requested to submit a grant to the Highlands. We have that basically put together. We have to, as part of the grant, they require us to meet with the Highlands to discuss our proposal. And at that point, then we can make the official submission. So we're waiting on a date from them when they'll see us, but we're trying to basically get somewhere between $80,000 and $100,000 to handle all of the, you know, the administrative requirements that they're putting on, you know, the towns right now. I mean, it's the one nice advantage of being in the Highlands. This isn't available to anybody outside the Highlands. This is Highlands money that they've decided to allocate to their municipalities. So, you know, from that perspective, we're kind of lucky to have that available, because a lot of towns don't have that as an option. And then, you know, I'm sure most of you know, just want to do a little land use board updates on the project constructions anyway. Chipotle is nearing its final phases. Unfortunately, they're redoing a lot more work than we expected. The contractors there had me scratch my head a little bit, but they're moving along. I think outside work, paving wise, is the only thing they have left is final paving. Everything else has been finished and corrected at this point.
They had an ETA for wrapping that up?
He says that they want to do it this year, but, you know, I keep saying time's ticking here, and they don't want to pave till the interior work's done, but it's just barely framed out inside, so they got a lot more interior work to go. I know I'll say it's behind schedule if you ask the powers in charge. Cubes 22, the mall property, we just completed a review this week of their latest submission. They're getting pretty close with that one. you know, a little bit more cleanup and some outside permits, but, I would anticipate that, you know, probably, I would think by the end of the year, they should have most of their stuff in line. Larkin, you know, has its own issues with sewer, which we won't get into tonight. But in terms of what's going on out there, they got their foundations, going in shortly. You know, tell us they're anticipating 2024 occupancy. Found a few sinkholes, which was fun, but that's all been closed up. And otherwise, it's that they're proceeding on schedule. And then the East Valley Logistics Granite Farm, they actually just resubmitted their submission on Friday last week. So by next week, we'll have that review out, and it's actually looking pretty good for what they submitted. I think our biggest issues there, and, you know, Kevin would be better to talk to this when he's back, but, you know, I don't at least see that we're making a lot of progress with Greenwich and Bliss and how all that's getting resolved as part of this. You know, the East Valley is proposing to do the edge road improvements they need to do, which is great. We really can't avoid it given, you know, the condition over there. They've said that they might be willing to contribute to Greenwich and Bliss, but we can't seem to get a straight answer out of the current owners of who's taking care of this. It just kind of seems to just be a lot of finger pointing and then silence. So I know Kevin's doing his best to make some progress there. And,
How are they with the DOT, Wayne? They're still waiting for some DOT approvals or not?
they have their preliminary, which is phase 1, and then based on that, they do the phase 2 of work and make that submission. So, I think I actually saw them doing some more survey work out there, last week, actually. So the first phase they're through. So, you know, for all intents and purposes, it looks like DOT is satisfied with their plan of what they want to do, and now it's just a matter of submitting the backup for it.
Are they any further along in identifying, I don't want to say name names as a tenant, but a type of tenant for the usage of the warehouse?
With no indication at all.
I threw Chewy at him because that's what I had heard, and the gentleman I talked to at East Valley said, no Chewy.
That's all I have.
And one further question for me, Wayne. You talked about the Highlands before. We talked about the cubes. Any further update on the Highlands review of, I know there was something that Jim provided recently, but I'm just trying to get the latest and greatest.
Yeah, they're going back to them for another, I mean, it was just a convoluted issue that the prior applicant had submitted, and he had the document, and then they had it was the same property, it was an amended approval. They came back in and Highlands just said, you know, we want to re-review, but, I mean, there's nothing materially different in terms of, you know, what they review it against. So I think they just have to go there and get that approval renewed, basically, for the current plan.
So I'm talking about for the Petrucci.
For that piece.
The
No,
Lion
sorry, I thought you were talking about East Valley, because
No.
they got
No,
sucked
no.
back in a little bit. No, I'm not aware of any Highland issue with the mall.
And I thought it was delayed because we were waiting on.
Yeah, the piece in the back now, the piece in our Zarbatani tract, the affordable housing, we were trying to get it included in the Highland Center designation.
Yeah.
And we haven't heard back from them where that stands.
That I don't know, because that one's basically in Jim's court, because it's all in conceptual phases, so we don't touch that
I know
one yet.
Jim said there was a delay. I don't recall what it was.
It was from September to October.
Yeah,
The
they were
hearing
supposed
was
to vote on it in
postponed.
September, have it back, and then nothing happened. I can make a call either Jim or somebody else that I know and find out where it's stands.
That'd be great.
Okay.
Reversion?
Yep.
Can you just, when you get a chance, shoot me an estimate?
Should be under 10,
So 10 safe?
10 safe.
Okay.
Yep.
Just because I'm gonna be putting out stuff to start budget for next year,
Sure.
so
Anybody else have any questions for Wayne? All right,
I'm sorry. The bids for the fields behind the school. I don't know if this is appropriate time to talk about that.
I mean, the low bid is on the
Okay.
agenda for approval, but,
Yeah.
we had a few. I think again, this wasn't me directly doing it, but I believe the number's better than the last one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so,
it's definitely better, but, I guess my question is, you know, Aspen Landscaping, I looked them up, they haven't done any fields. They all do more like off of the highways, doing grass there, and, you know, they have nothing, at least on the website, I mean, Scott, you know, they honestly, any sports field, there's more of a, you know, side of a mountain, you know, parks, that kind of stuff, but if they do any type of, you know, leveling and making sure drainage is properly for any type of, athletic type of grass to use, that kind of stuff. I mean, do you know anything about Aspen?
About the company itself, no. I mean,
You're out
we-
of Branchburg, that's about it.
Yeah, I'm not aware of any, good or bad, with regard to them. I mean, we had Kevin review the bid for, completion, if there was anything that, would preclude us from awarding them, and that's the issue. They satisfy all the requirements, they're the low bidder, it's not, there's nothing in there that was irresponsible about the bid. I mean, as a company, they're qualified to do the work.
Yeah.
Not, maybe don't, they didn't show examples of it, but, drainage work, site work, they can do it. I mean, if we were doing turf, I'd say, you need a contractor who knows turf, but, I think it's just a matter of oversight. If we're getting a better price and they can proceed on it, we try to take what, not that I think anything about, Great Construction's, excuses, had anything materially to affect it, but we tried to amend things to prevent any more of that, kind of
We're gonna
behavior.
run into the same problem though, because this company gonna come like with grades and the problem with soil now, more of this, that, I mean, it
Well-
seemed like great last time, they bid on the project, and all of a sudden, half the neighbor wanted to change the game, and, we get more money out of us, these guys low bid again, and then all of a sudden, we're gonna be delayed down the road because they're not gonna like, again, the soil numbers or.
This is unfortunately the way that low bid contracting works. If there's nothing that, I can point to that excludes them, we end up in a litigation situation by rejecting them. So unfortunately, can they play that game? Yes. I don't know what it wins them. I mean, I think, the problem with Graded was they underbid the project and looked for an excuse to get out. As we spoke with Kevin, we would have won that, I think, if we had decided to fight about it, but where would it get us?
Right.
Could the same contractor do it? Certainly could, but, there are numbers in that scope that cover changes in material, like in the elevation changes. It was in the last bid too.
Yeah.
But, that all we can do is anticipate it and put it in there, and, they can always find a game to play.
And I did contact them today about a start date, but the person that I needed to talk to wasn't in the office. So I gotta call back again tomorrow.
What is our anticipated start date?
That wasn't set on, well, no,
That I don't know.
no, it didn't say on there, because that's gotta be, Ed didn't say, right? On that?
I don't think so.
No,
I
because all
didn't
he
see it.
sent over was the bid sheets of what the price was, and then sent it to Kevin to make sure that everything was legal. And then, but he hasn't done the award yet. right?
Well, I guess we're gonna award the bid tonight, and then,
Yeah, and then they schedule the,
Then we
the
have-
pre-meeting, and then
Right.
they
Once we do the
let us know the
pre-meeting, that's
schedule.
when they'll set
That's
the
not a
time
part of the
frame.
bid where they would put in when they'd like to be a start date, you decide that after the bid is awarded, because they can say we're not gonna start till July 8th.
I'm sorry, I don't have the answer to this one, because I wasn't,
But like even other ones, I mean, did
Yeah.
that happen where,
I would have thought we would have had an expected start date, but, a lot of it also depends on the weather and the seasons too, so, I don't know what the expectation was.
Let me find out, because I think there should have been in there.
Yeah, they're not
But he
fly
didn't-
by night for sure.
Yeah.
No, they're good.
Send me
I mean,
the-
their
I've heard of it.
projects
They're
don't
good,
have anything
yeah.
that could model what we're doing.
They did a couple of parks,
Yes, yeah.
but not fields.
Yeah. And like I said, you're doing a field, there's a lot more when it comes to the crown, there's a lot more to the drain and runoff there, so. Also, the type of grass you use is very important because, using the wrong type of grass gets tore up very easily, that kind of stuff, so, yeah, I mean, I wish, like I said, did Kevin reviewed everything, you said, right, Scotty?
Yeah. Yeah, and got back to everybody saying he saw nothing that.
Yeah, there's no flaws, yeah.
mhm.
Because like I said, my only, I mean, obviously, we want this to move forward, but my concern is, all of a sudden, if there's no time set, I mean, they're gonna say, okay, we're gonna wait till April again, and now we're, again, gonna sit all winter, waiting, and then, is it, and again, we're gonna fall on the same problem as we did last year with Grid, and then we're back in
Another
November.
year out. No, I hear what you're saying.
It's just,
I would think that would be discussed at the day that the award's bidded, between you and Kevin or whoever, or Scott. I would think you would iron out a start date and an end date.
Yeah, I mean, that's part of the, part of the pre-con. When are you gonna start? What's your expected timeframes,
So maybe
pick 'em
by
out,
next month, we
weather.
can have an answer to that?
I would hope so, yeah, absolutely.
I'm reading now too, to see what was sent to us. But it doesn't,
John, did you look at the bid package?
We didn't get any of that. We did
It
nothing.
would seem to me, when you're talking about the quality of grass, would be really important to include in there, because I know how expensive it is just to get shade grass in my property. And if there's a significant cost difference between sheet grass and appropriate sport field grass, he can plant what he wants in that.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't see the bid package, but, like, so we can move on and, like, so we can move back to some good elections.
All right, we'll start with council report. Steve,
I don't have one.
Yes, you do.
Oh, I do? Wonder.
it was circulated via email.
Yeah, I know, I didn't print it.
We don't have to go over
No,
it
we don't.
verbatim. That's
I read it.
fine, Steve.
Yeah, okay.
Any comments you'd like to make in general as far as DPW?
No, not really. I mean, I know they're out doing a lot of stuff, so, I think Jeff's doing a good job, wouldn't you say? He's doing a pretty good
I
job
think so,
around
yeah.
that place.
We're good on salt and everything going into the.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the thing's pretty full.
and we have a master plan for that too as well, so that, it's budgeted each year. So any excess money now is gonna, instead of just going back into the kitty, it's gonna go into the storm account. So that way, if, $80,000 is budgeted and we only use, say 50, now if we have a major storm that we're gonna go over, we'll have a backup plan. So that's something that we're gonna start this year.
I don't say you could possibly know, but everybody has said we're gonna have a rough winter,
We're due.
especially those farmers.
Yeah.
No, seriously, Steve Zars, he and I talked about
I
this.
just had somebody getting hay today and they wouldn't fill their barn up because they're worried it's gonna be a bad winter.
Yeah, and the walnuts, there's billions of walnuts down
Tons
this
of
year.
walnuts and
Yeah.
You know what?
woolly caterpillars.
Yeah,
When I look at my ponies, they don't have big heavy coats yet.
Yeah.
Usually
Yeah.
they do if it's gonna be a cold winter.
yeah, well, we'll see.
Check your cows, same thing. If they-
We don't have them anymore.
Oh, you know?
No, we didn't put them down, so. Yeah, we got sick. They were 8 years old, and Red was having seizures, and he really beat himself up, so.
I can bring you another one if you need.
No, I'm gonna get a fence.
No, he wants.
I'm gonna take some of your farmland away and put more fence up, actually. We can talk about farming later.
All right, Ingrid, what do you have for us tonight?
Solid waste didn't meet because there was no business to meet. Historic Commission met and we discussed the future work on the Heritage Scenic Highway website. You were all forwarded a copy of the Health Department report for the third quarter, mostly sewer stuff and all the food inspections passed. You were also sent the flyer for the historic tour this weekend. You wanted to show up? And anyone who wants to preview the actual tour book to see what homes are on it, I can email you our draft tour book. Is anybody interested
I
in
would.
reading it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it was this weekend.
Yes.
And the banners were changed.
Levinsky and.
Were they?
And the
I was
what?
gonna ask that.
The ragged banners were changed.
Yes,
Who did we end up, Betsy?
Randy, yes.
Good.
yeah, thank you for that. Just in time. That's it.
All right.
Is there a night before party?
Night after 4:40.
No, they're not doing the night before?
It's self-guided, but not, I mean, people are still in their homes guiding people, people can go in the houses, right?
Yep, absolutely.
So I don't
Yeah,
understand
send me
what
that too.
self-guided means, and it could be other.
That means you're not on a tour
One
bus.
house to the next. You're not being put on a bus.
Yeah,
You're
Well, you
guiding
never were,
yourself
really.
around it.
well, I guess,
Well, the train was,
yeah,
we took them around on the bus.
yeah.
Yeah, Ingrid, send me that too, please.
Okay, sure, John.
Kevin? Court reports for Greenwich, for the month of September, traffic charges were added to 242, disposed 325. 26 criminal charges were added for the month, 37 disposed. The deposit to the municipal treasury was $7,486.68, bringing the year-to-date total for Greenwich Court $79,522.31. That is under where it was at this time last year, probably close to about over 15, maybe 20K. So I'm not sure they're gonna be able to hit that mark. Just a heads up, Scott, for you.
So there could be a true up at the end of the year.
And so, right now, it looks like there's probably, it's highly probable. For Pohat, 140 traffic charges were added to 11 were disposed. 17 criminal charges, 15 were disposed. Municipal deposit was $5,534.94 for a year-to-date total of $57,495.21. I had a couple of land use board items. Chick-fil-A came in at the last meeting. They're looking to redo their lanes and to sort of improve upon what that looks like. We had a lot of good suggestions, and I guess I'm saying I'm biased because I gave them a bunch of suggestions around safety for their employees. But overall, it was approved. I think it should make things a little bit smoother, more efficient. It'll give the employees a little bit more cover when they're standing outside helping them take orders. And then also the Shimer redevelopment plan was approved by the land use board. And this is, as I said to Councilwoman Gray, it's a double negative, not to be inconsistent with the master plan. So that's going to come back to us, council. And then I just had one question for the director. The tax sale, is that Wednesday? Or-
It was.
No,
Was.
last Wednesday. Okay. All right. And Scott, anything from you on police or emergency?
Just FEMA, working with FEMA right now. The 2 recruits started the academy the 12th. So they're in there now. We have our mass casualty drill Saturday at the fairgrounds. Probably gonna be a wet one, but I think it's rain or shine, so that's good. FEMA, we're just, we gotta submit everything. Most of this stuff is gonna be reimbursed through the insurance company through the town.
Any more good news on the DEA? You gave us a good
Yeah.
update last time.
Yeah, so 158,000 was deposited, and now we have 90 more coming. It sits right there saying waiting to be transferred. So that's really good news.
Did you happen to talk to Congressman Keene's liaison?
No, I got a call that day and I was so busy, I didn't
That's
get
all right.
here.
It seems like you might know the right person to poke to.
Yeah, we poked the bear already, so that's where we're getting the money coming now, so, but, no, that's about it.
And what's left for that remaining 90 to come through? What kind of process is going to go through?
Oh, just, finalize on their part?
Somebody push a button.
Click a button, click a button, and then it just gets
Okay.
automatically deposited into the account.
Okay,
Kind of like waiting for everything else to be waiting for.
Yeah.
so by next month, you anticipate you'll...
I
Maybe
said
not.
that 3 years ago, too.
Hey, you're finally giving us positive news
Yeah.
here from the
Yeah.
DEA.
Yeah, but don't get your hopes up too high.
And there's still a bucket out there, right?
Oh, yeah, 1.8 is still out there, besides this. Yeah.
And then the other thing I was just gonna add was I had the opportunity to witness the mayor, you just alluded to it, swear in our 2st new recruits to the police.
Maurice Badway and
Justin Horvath.
Orban. I knew his father used to be the pharmacist down in Bloomsbury.
Oh, okay.
Mel Padway's kid?
It was,
No, it's not Mel's dad.
Because Mel was a pharmacist too.
Yeah, he was,
He was a meat
yeah, with me.
Two of the same name.
Yeah.
If you're doing, are you doing fire too now, or no?
I don't have anything. from
So the only thing is with the fire department, I know last meeting we talked about the, COVID money, right? And after the meeting, I talked to Ann about that, and the signboard is really pushing it on the limits of can you do it or not, in her opinion. So she doesn't think it's the best thing
So
to
we'll
utilize
pass the
that.
red face test?
What's that?
It's hard to pass the red face test?
Mhm.
For her, yeah, to sign off on that.
Yeah.
So we were thinking of, like, we have to utilize this money. The fire department put in a grant for all their new, air packs, and they were denied.
Oh, they were?
Yeah, they never got it. Alpha got a big part of it, but ours did not. So with the funding left over from COVID, with the air packs as part of the PPE, that we could utilize that. I mean, it's money we didn't have. I think it's a good resource to use to buy these air packs for the fire department. I don't think we're gonna be able to get them all for them. They need 22. They're $8,700 a piece, but they're giving us a $1,200 trade-in on the old ones.
Right.
So they're giving us $1,200 per bottle on the old ones. They need 22 bottles. So the total price is $165,000 to outfit everything. I don't think we have that left in there.
What do we have so far?
Honestly, I wanted to know today, but it's probably about 130,
Okay.
about that range in there. So if it's okay with you guys, I think
I
that's a
think that's a
good,
great suggestion.
and do it that way, then we don't have to have the fire department coming to us and saying,
Yeah.
hey, we need the
We need
mandatory
capital.
stop packs that we need to get.
Yeah.
So if you guys are okay with it, whatever.
And not just
funds-
because they're named after you either.
Right, yeah. So if you guys are okay with it,
Yeah. I agree.
yeah, they sent me the quote, it's $8,720.26 per bottle.
Yeah, how often do they have to get renewed?
It's, well, they only
Life
got them,
expectancy.
it's not long.
Yeah.
No,
It's a racket.
we just bought them
Yeah.
when Jim was there. I can remember we didn't have money. We had
85
to
years?
find like
Yeah.
On the shelf life of them?
$50,000 that time.
Right. But I mean, this is something we don't have to find the money then if we
No,
utilize
I
this.
think it's a great idea.
So if you guys are okay with that, if whatever funding we have available, buy whatever we can.
Go
and
as
then-
far as we can, right?
If that's okay with you guys.
Yeah, I think we should add to the motions, Mayor.
The other one is Wanda's been back and forth with this company, Lead Base Paint Company. There's mandates that we have to, be up on that. So this company will do all the work for us. They go out and find everything, they find the tenants or the houses that are, part of it, and they charge the homeowner $295, that the homeowner has to pay. And then then the town would be in full compliance. So there's no money out of our pocket. It's just they charge the individual homeowner,
For what? What are they charging for?
to do the inspections.
Inspections.
Yeah,
That's not even remediation.
right.
So is there any rhyme or reason to who gets inspected? Or is it like only certain age homes?
Yeah, it's certain
Yes.
age homes.
I think it's anything built before 1978.
You can show up at your house and tell you got to pay
That's the
$300.
most.
Only if you rent,
If
Oh,
If you rent.
it's only for rentals, not
Right.
for homeowners.
right.
Ah.
But the
Yeah, it's only
gentleman,
rental property.
but the gentleman explained that even if somebody has great aunt somebody renting a room, they have to do it.
Yeah, it's rental only.
Do they have to let them in?
This,
Is that a
so
state
I have some
mandate?
questions
Yeah.
that before we approve it, I want to sit down with them and talk a little more of how they're going to do it. Because my thing too is I don't want them trying to strong arm people either in
Right.
town. If they have an idea and they send a letter, but they get no correspondence, well then leave it alone. We tried. We have documentation that says we tried to do it and.
Wouldn't they go to the landlords?
Yeah, the landlord, not the renters.
Yeah.
They have to go to the
But
homeowner.
some of those landlords are a long ways away from
Right.
it too.
So, but there are some questions that I do have, that I
Well,
would like.
that's why I asked you that.
Yeah, but I want to talk to them about it first to find out exactly what they do and how they do it
Mhm.
before we really approve it. But I figured we only have the meeting once a month, so if you guys were okay with, if I found the answers out that I was satisfied with, that we could just go with them,
So we can make a motion that says that.
Yeah, I think they were mainline, Scott, was it?
mainline, yeah.
All right, and then let me ask you this. Can you try to get cracking on that? Because that's a best practice. A whole slew of questions. Who's doing did you hire a third party? Do you have in-house? It's all part of the best practice questions.
Yeah, I'll email the guy tomorrow to tell him that I want to meet him, once it's approved here.
You can just email us and tell us.
Well, do we want to say authorize them upon your,
We can add it as a motion. Yeah, upon his
recommendation, or whatever, yeah, you can just.
Yeah, I just don't, you understand what I'm saying? I don't want them
Yeah.
coming in like, demanding things and treating the residents like
Yeah,
garbage.
exactly, that's why I
Right.
said, do they have to let them in, or how does it work?
Yeah, and I don't really want them bothering renters either.
Right.
That's really not the
Mm-mm.
renter's issue. And be pretty good on, like, okay with leniency on the inspections and when it's good for them, not when it's good for the company.
Right.
Do you schedule any lifeline visits yet?
No, it's a sticky note right on my computer. I just haven't
Okay, well,
called.
I'd like to know when
Okay.
you do that, I'd like to sign up.
Yeah.
All right, John, you have anything
I'm
for
good.
us? My only comment is last Friday, myself and Wayne met with mostly Larkin people, but we met with Mayor Dunwell, their attorney, their engineer, and to discuss this sewer issue with Larkin. There's some things we need to iron out with him, and we need to, how would I say, update the sewer agreement that we have. I saw some comments from Kevin, so I'm gonna keep any comments until Kevin gets back to me with some more answers, but we're trying. Larkin's been, I would say, good about everything, don't you?
Yeah, they wrote the escrow check to, to Alpha, so,
Right.
they're doing their part.
They got their water, they just had to reroute which way it was gonna go, and they seemed okay with that as well.
Yeah, no cost to them. Yeah.
I think they're gonna be a good neighbor, that's for sure. They seem very genuine. Larkin, that is, so we'll see. Other than that.
We only had that issue with the bridge too.
Yeah, they
So-
did comment about that, about construction vehicles going over it.
It was like once or twice, and then we told, in my opinion, they made a big deal over it, Alpha.
Alpha did, well, that's,
They called the county engineer's office, the
Right.
county engineer called
I heard
me.
Cleva wanted to jump out in front of the,
Yeah,
right, isn't that who it was?
What bridge is that? High Street?
the High Street right near Harry's place.
The railroad bridge?
Railroad bridge.
Yeah, they're saying there's a weight limit restriction on it, and the dump trucks were going over that.
I don't believe
Does
that.
their fire truck meet that same weight restriction?
No, because that fire truck goes over that every time they have a call.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right, and it does not meet.
That
it's
ladder
overweight.
truck, yeah.
Right.
They're saying that, I guess the bridge isn't in good condition to begin with, but that's the county's problem.
Well, the county called and said that to me too. Some lady called me and says, well, that bridge isn't in good condition. I said, well, you should fix it.
Yeah, it's your bridge.
Emily something or other, huh?
Yeah, but, I mean, you're telling me you know it's bad, so fix it. But we curbed it immediately. I went up to Larkin. They were really receptive. They had a thing for all their truck drivers, and we haven't heard of things.
What route do they want them to use? Down over the hill, or they want to go out around Overly and that way?
They can come up.
South Main Street.
They could come up Main, Carpentersville, and come that way. Or they were saying, go down to Alpha Sub Shop, make a right at West Vulcanite, and then make a right on Lee,
Oh,
and then
come
make a
in that
left,
way.
and come in that way.
Okay.
Make the neighbors happy.
Yeah.
Kind of like Carpentersville.
Yeah, but that was handled. That was not it.
I guess my other comment would be about Snyder's Road. Maybe Chief, you want to touch on that a little bit?
Yeah, so, the culvert needs to be completely replaced, along with right now having their engineers do a complete redesign of the entire roadway from Overly Road all the way down to, River Road. It's gonna be a long process, it's not gonna be anything quick, but in the meantime, they reinforced the culvert, last Tuesday. We had a temporary closure of the road for like a half a day, so some of the trucks had to go, River Road to Carpentersville Road. But I text messaged a bunch of the residents so that they knew, so that we didn't get complaints and they were okay with it. They widened it to 17 feet where it was only 12 feet before. They paved it so that way this winter, they can do the snow plowing until, for the winter time. It's only a temporary fix. The culvert's completely, they only have it reinforced right now. It has to be redone completely. We took all the signs down and, we took our signboard down and the barriers down, but we put up big orange signs because one of my concerns is we've had 2 bicyclists that have gotten into accidents on that road since it's been in repair. And one of the guys cracked his head open, was unconscious, because we had to issue the bicyclist a ticket because he went through a spot that said road closed. So in order for, liability wise, we had to cover the towns, and cover the county, so that for possible litigation in the future. So we left those signs up. The county worked with me to put up orange signs, more so for potential litigation. In case somebody doesn't, we are covered to say the road is still closed, hazardous, areas ahead.
Quarry trucks only.
Yeah. Is it, yep. So that way, if other people use it, they can accordingly get a ticket and we cover ourselves.
So here's a question for you. On Creek Road, people live across the street from us, on Winters Road, a big tree fell down, dammed the creek.
Yep.
And now it's just filled up with all kinds of garbage and everything. So the last major storm we had, it washed out the entire tank all the way to Creek Road. And Jeff refilled it with, gabion and all that. So we've had trees go down across the creek, and I had a monster one. I had Wayne, when he still lived here, he came down and removed it for me, because it was actually taking out his field.
Yeah.
And so we fixed that. But if we have another storm, it's gonna take out all the stuff that Jeff put in Half Creek Road too. Whose responsibility is it to clean up the garbage in the creek?
So right now, that's one of the big debates still with the county
Mm-hmm.
and FEMA,
Mm-hmm.
is the county is saying that you guys need to help us with this, because this is a problem for the future. Because not only there, but down the street a little bit, we had to put a ton of gabion in,
Mhm.
at the next property
Mhm.
from you,
Mhm.
because it washed out completely towards the roadway.
Right.
So they will not give an answer, so until they give an answer, it's really the homeowner's responsibility, unfortunately.
All right.
It's, but
Can you tell them, how do you get them to do it?
you can go in, right, we talked about this, you
Yeah.
can go in and
Property
write a letter
maintenance,
and property
yeah,
maintenance
yeah.
ordinance,
Mhm.
but you're talking, some of that debris removal is gonna cost you $30,000-$40,000
Yeah, people
to
don't
get the equipment to come in and remove it.
Yeah,
I don't think that's fair to the homeowner either.
right.
So they are still actively working on it, but it's becoming a slower process than.
Yeah, they haven't done it.
Yeah, and they haven't given us, as OEM, they haven't given us any answers, and that's on every single call, that's what we asked about.
Mhm.
Because it's gonna prevent what happened if we clean it up.
Yeah.
It happens again when it's not
Forget it,
fixed.
it's gonna wash out again.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Worse.
just gonna keep.
And worse.
Yeah, it'll just keep getting worse.
Right. So it is on the radar, it's
Yeah.
just, it's.
And maybe I'm in a better position than these people are. I have
Yeah.
Wayne, like I said, who's paid him to
Yeah.
get down. That was a big tree, if you remember.
Oh, I remember.
Yeah, huge.
Went right across the whole damn creek.
Yeah.
It was actually on the other side, went across your creek.
Yeah, and damn the entire creek, yeah.
And originally,
Yeah,
the county told us, which I'm glad we didn't, I'm so glad we didn't, start doing it, because they told us, oh, FEMA will cover it, you guys just do it, because that's what the county started doing, they started hiring these crews to come out and
Mhm.
clean the debris out, and now FEMA's saying, no, that's private property, you're not getting it.
Mhm.
Which is kind of crazy, but.
It is, yeah.
I mean,
But at minimum,
Well, I think is that our property on the, I don't know what the right of way is, but on the Creek Road side where it all washed out, is that all of our property or is that?
but the thing is in the river, it's in the river.
It's
so
in the river,
like, our right of way ends before it, and my understanding
okay,
of the law is,
okay.
if the tree falls on your property, it's yours. If it
Yeah.
wasn't dead to begin with and ignored,
Mm-hmm.
where it falls, wherever the line is.
I don't think that tree was ever dead. I think it washed out in one
Yeah,
of
so-
the previous
yeah.
floods.
Yeah, so
you
that
know,
we don't
and it
have-
fell over
Mhm.
and it
It's all the owner.
stayed there and then.
And I can say Jeff did remove some trees, like there were some spots that we had to get it out,
Mhm.
like the one over on,
Sinclair?
Yeah.
Sinclair.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there was this huge tree that just went right down the drain pipe, blocking everything, and he did remove it,
Yeah,
because it was easier to get to.
yeah, I'm just saying because if we have another flood, it's.
Yeah, and it's on the radar, but nobody's giving us an answer.
Mhm.
Maybe if we start getting some stormwater management money and stuff like that, maybe we can down the road try to help, but
Mhm.
right
but at
now,
minimum, do we just need to cut up that piece that goes through the creek? So
Well,
that it's-
there's enough garbage to fill this room.
No, I know,
right
I've
there.
seen the garbage,
Yeah,
that's why I go to church every week, I'm
Yeah.
just saying, but to prevent,
so if we cut the one at his house, right?
yeah.
It's only gonna float right down to the one that's
Down the street.
20 feet down the road.
Yeah.
and it's gonna be blocked up again.
Yeah.
And that one's even bigger,
Yeah,
Which one is that?
on, Kennedy's property.
That's the one I'm talking
Yeah.
about, the Kennedy
Yeah,
property.
but right up the street, at his house, there's another one that has a huge debris field.
I didn't see that one.
Yeah,
well, if you go down Winters Road, you just make a right, it's right there on the right-hand side.
yeah, that's the Kennedy.
You're talking about the Kennedy one.
Is that their name?
Yeah.
Across the
Yeah,
creek,
yeah.
yeah.
But you
okay,
had
okay.
one over on the other side. on
No,
your
no,
side.
there's nothing on my side.
Oh, there was,
No.
then it washed down.
Yeah, no,
There
there's
was
nothing on
one.
my side, yeah.
Yeah, but the Kennedy one is,
That one's getting
But it-
big. I mean, there's like there's wheels in there
Yeah.
and all kinds of,
it just
Yeah.
continues. So, I'm.
No, there's nothing blocking the creek on my property,
Okay,
because we own both sides of the creek,
right.
so, no.
and is that something we can also like get Boy Scouts in? Not for nothing to get the trash out of there.
It's so deep there, the water.
Yeah.
It's really deep,
Yeah.
the water.
I mean, I'm happy to go down with my chainsaw and start to
Yeah.
cut stuff up, but.
I mean, maybe we can just see if.
Yeah, but if you break your leg or something, you know, you don't need that creek.
I mean, I can ask a company to see how much it will be to just pick up the tree, then that'll wash a lot of the debris down.
Yeah.
If you guys want me to look into that and
And
see
even
if
if you
there's
get
some money in the
that main-
stormwater money.
That main piece of that trunk, just to get that out of there.
kind of stuff.
Right, but I'm saying like, I mean, really, what do you need? You need a, you know.
If
a
they
crack
came in with a
pipe.
big equipment, you know.
you need something to, you
An excavator. to pull that
excavator
up.
to
Yeah,
rip it out.
Yeah, if they
Yeah.
came in with a big track hoe and could lift
Right.
it up a little bit and let the rest of the stuff out from underneath,
Right.
it would just wash down.
Yep.
Yeah,
Boy, it's a shame Dame's still here, he's right there.
Right there.
yeah, it would be done.
Or
All right,
even
definitely something that has to be
Tyler,
handled.
Tyler had one too.
I'm sorry?
It's definitely something that has to be handled.
Yeah.
There's other areas over behind the Huntington Park
Mhm.
that have to be done too,
Yeah.
that are really bad shape.
Yeah, but from the bridge all the way to 519 is nothing.
Right.
There was a huge trees that came down in the field and we cut them up right away because they were on this A field, so. But no, there's nothing.
Almost like
Nothing
they
creek.
want you to wait until it goes downstream and knocks stuff out,
Yeah.
causes 10
Yeah.
times the
10
damage.
times the
before
damage.
they'll
Yeah.
Help you fix it.
Yeah, but- take out the next bridge.
Has there been anything done with the, what the county wanted for St. James Avenue for the weight restriction? For you
Yeah.
guys to enforce it?
Didn't we put that, wasn't that on the agenda the last meeting?
I think so.
Yeah.
So we did approve it already?
But was that just a resolution or is it
I
ordinance?
thought it was a resolution.
Right.
Okay.
It was their ordinance.
Right,
They
right.
did the ordinance.
From the county, and they wanted us to just do a resolution. Let me double check that, but wait, I have the minutes here. What am I looking at?
The weight restriction, just to allow the officers to write the county,
Well, that was after the last meeting.
It would be good to have some more obvious signage there for trucks when they have options, like at the light by Shiver and then also by Quick Check, so that they,
Yeah, I talked to, Alex at the county, and he said, "Get, let us know the signs you need." So it's in the works.
All right, resolutions, we have 3 resolutions. Anybody have any issues taking all 3 together?
well, which licenses are we approving? Or which license?
Oh, everybody got approved except Desi Tavern, which is Stone Tavern. They hadn't gotten their, tax clearance certificate, so they finally did, so we can renew them now.
How many licenses are there, Wanda?
5.
Okay.
One's pocketed. Ruby Tuesdays.
Right, so it's Stone Tavern, Hoots,
Yeah, Riverside Tap Room, Hoots, and Desi's Tavern, Huntington Volunteer Fire Department, Ruby Tuesdays Pocket, and Bourbon Street Liquor.
all right, so motion to take all 3 resolutions?
Second,
Okay, Babinski, Gray,
yes.
Melvin,
Yes.
Stillo,
Yes.
Slack.
Yes. Ordinances for first reading, there's none. Ordinances for second reading, we have 2, 2314, setting the range of salaries for all the non-contractual employees in the township. And 2315, the Township of Cohasset, this is adopting a redevelopment plan for the Shimer School redevelopment area. We had a presentation last month on that, which I thought was pretty well presented. So at this time, I'll open them both up to public comment. Anybody would like to make public comment on either ordinance, come forward, sign in.
I'll second your motion. To open up the public comment.
All in favor?
Seeing no public comment, I'll entertain a motion to close public hearing and adopt.
So moved.
Second,
Okay, Kevin Babinski,
yes.
Gray,
Yes.
Slack,
Yes.
I'm sorry, Melvin,
Yes.
and Stillo.
Yes.
All right, Wanda, what do we have for motions we wanted to add? We had
To authorize the use of COVID fees for the purchase of air packs,
Scott Fox, yep, okay.
and another one to authorize an agreement with Mainline to do our lead-based inspections based on Administrator Rob's recommendation.
Okay. And the other four motions, does anybody have any questions or concerns with them? If not, I'll entertain a motion for all six motions together.
So moved,
Second.
Okay, Babinski,
yes.
Gray,
Yes.
Melvin,
Yes.
Stillo,
Yes.
Slack.
Yes. Any general public comments from the public, please come forward, sign in.
Do you need a pen? Okay. It doesn't look like we did anything about a resolution for the Warren County road limit.
Well, I think that was after the last meeting. I think that came
Nobody talked about it.
as an email after.
I didn't think we did anything. Either way, you want to follow up so we get something on the books?
Yeah, yeah, 'cause, yeah, I'd like to have that, yeah.
Alex called me and I said, because originally it was like May, he sent it to us. and
Yep.
I guess that was my fault, but either way, if we could get that, so.
Mhm.
Go ahead, sir, what's on your mind?
I'm the owner for the Bagel House. I'm not sure if you guys know about us or not. Okay? I work so hard on myself. I put my house on loan to do this business, to do something great for the town, something fresh, not frozen. After I opened my business, the real estate across the street, I don't know, they closed the street from the both side. I believe without no permission from the town. I don't know why. And they hit my business so hard. And no accident happened, nothing happened. I don't know what the reason for to close the street on both sides, which is only one way.
Are you talking about 22 in front of you or behind you?
No, I'm talking about Victor Avenue, Victor Avenue.
Okay.
That's been one way for quite a long time now,
Yeah, but I
hasn't
think
it?
what he's talking about is the state put up no stopping or standing signs. That's what they put on the portion of Victory and Liberty, right off of 22.
So in other words, nobody can use it as additional parking.
But it's, well, just so, but the thing is, yeah, there was a complaint made by Weichert Realty that the individuals going to the Bagel House were parking in front of their mailbox and, you know, the mail people couldn't deliver and everything else, stuff like that.
But you can put one stop sign by the mailbox, and no car going over there, and you can leave the both side for the street empty, you know? Now close the both streets, I see there's no reason for that, you know?
I mean, there are streets, right, Scott, or not, or is that
So
within the?
so the signs were put up after the complaint by the state, right? So, but we don't enforce them. Like, we don't
Right, I
bother the
understand.
people if they park there. There's no stopping or
But some people
standing.
don't know that, so they're gonna still.
Right,
Yeah, people are gonna read that, yeah.
yeah.
I mean, if we're not trying to discourage it, is there, I mean, could we stripe stalls? You know, do an ordinance or something to allow parking and if we defined it,
Well, but I don't even think the state
Yeah.
has the.
because they don't really have the jurisdiction to tell us that in the first place,
Right,
but.
right.
I mean, that's my question.
you wanna
If
keep
it's a
people
town
from-
street, where do they get off on posting signs on, I mean, if we would put one of ours on a state street, they'd tear it down in a minute.
Is it one of those things, Wayne, where it feeds an artery?
I don't really understand it either, because you're right, it's our road, and it's a pretty wide road, and I don't see why we
And
can't allow
especially
parking.
if it's one way.
That's a one-way off the highway, is it?
Right, yeah.
So it's excessively wide, and if there's a concern about blocking a
Well,
mailbox, then.
the other issue was that the people were not, following the one-way street, and they were parking every which way on, you know what I mean, when they were coming there.
I agree with that. I mean, I've gone the wrong way,
You know what I
I think by
mean?
accident, it's so wide.
Right. That was one of the issues as well, and the complaints made, were that people were just going in and out, people were coming in the wrong way, the one way, and that was an issue.
Yeah.
What can we do, Scott, to help this gentleman, you think?
Well, who made it the one way? We did or the state?
One way, as far as I can remember.
That was a long
I mean,
time ago.
it's
but-
off the highway, right? I mean, and I imagine the state has jurisdiction over that, because they're trying to limit the accesses
Yeah.
to their highway.
Mhm.
They don't
Right.
typically care so much about getting off, it's getting on that they have a problem with. But, I mean, parking's a problem over there in general. I mean, you know,
Yeah, but that's getting on in a turning lane too. That's not even pulling onto the highway. It's 4 lanes there.
yeah.
Mhm.
And so if you pulled out onto the highway, you wouldn't be pulling into the traffic, you would be pulling onto a turning lane.
Right turn only.
Yeah, right, exactly, yeah.
I mean, you know, we'd be getting ourselves in a lot of headache dealing with the state to try and change what the access is. But aside from that, I mean, as long as we're not changing the access, I don't see how they can control where we can and can't park. I mean, there is a parking problem over there.
I hate this.
I like Mike Zambas's project. I think he did a great job with it, but he got like tenants that like have business.
Right.
You know, and he probably got the worst tenants that he got for the space and the parking that he has.
Can you take a look at this, Scott, from your
Yeah, I think
police
the
aspect
only,
as far as,
so like,
What if the no parking signs came down?
Or what if we
If we didn't put them in,
correct spaces?
if we didn't put them in, why
they're not
can't we
even,
take them
like,
down?
they're not even no parking signs.
no stopping or
It
standing?
just says no stopping or standing. That's
What
all
would
it
happen
said.
if we put up our own parking here from here to the curb, or parking here from here to whatever, and striped out spots?
For the bagel, you know? You can do that too.
Yeah, I don't care. It's,
I mean, who's
the
gonna
road's-
be the one to enforce it? Your guys are gonna be the ones
The
that
road's
enforce
big
it.
enough.
Right,
It's
it's
just
one way.
the problem that we're gonna run into is if we open it back up, right, with the no parking, we're gonna have the same issue that we had before where people just up and down the one way, the wrong way. And, you know, that's gonna create.
Well, that's why I say if we added some sort of striping,
Right.
like to encourage people to park in certain spots, like what would be the harm if we striped out 20-foot stalls on the side or 2 sides? Then even people are looking at it, it doesn't appear so wide because they understand the width is related to parking.
Would you be able to put them in at like a 45-degree angle so people can park in like that as they go off the highway?
They wouldn't, I don't
That
think.
is actually
probably
hard. So you just need to do parallel
I think
parking.
you want parallel on the
Okay,
side.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
you're not gonna get a lot, maybe you get 2 spaces.
You get 2 or
You
3
might
there,
get 2
that's
or 3
it.
spaces on each
Yeah.
side.
But 2's better than nothing,
Yeah.
I mean.
Yeah. Or
Because
could,
that's all it's gonna do is open up like.
That's great enough. If you
Two-
have my side for 3 spaces, this is enough. I need help. I'm doing something, but I'm working myself. I used to work like 20 hours, 22 hours a day when I open. Now I'm working up 3:30 in the morning. Now it's 9 o'clock. I'm gonna wake up 3:30 in the morning again. And sometimes I leave the store if the cooking guy called me like 1 o'clock in the morning, hey, I can come today. I have to take my shower and put my clothes and go 1:45 a.m. to start doing my best things, and I'm doing the bagels and I'm doing, you know, it's a long process to do all the fashion style, great job, you know.
We'll take a look at this for you and see what we can.
can it be
work out.
15-minute parking?
Hmm?
Can it be like 15-minute retail parking only or
I mean,
something?
what's your average customer? Do
See-
you have sit downs or do you everything's to
We'll create an
go?
ordinance for it. if we did it.
Everything's to
You know what I mean?
go.
Because you don't want some like
And you
resident,
come
I
to
guess,
find bars.
just to be,
And I know what you're saying, they can't find some place to
Park on
park.
the back street, that's what I
Yeah.
do. I go there, I walk around.
We'll,
It's not that far.
We'll take a look at it, right, Scott? We can see what we can do for you.
So Scott, were you saying with regard to the one-way, people are coming and turning in off of 22?
Oh, they're coming up off the coach.
I don't care if they're doing that, I think the one way there is the stupidest thing I've ever seen, to be honest with you. I could care less if they're coming in both ways, but I'm not gonna feel the complaints of it when, you know what I mean? I have to do something if the complaints come in. And that's what happened the first time. The complaints came in, you know, we asked, we talked to you, but how, you can't really stop the people from doing what they're doing. You know what I mean? Like, you're in the business working.
Yeah.
You can't be out there or have an employee out there going, no, can't park here, can't park there, you know? You shouldn't have to worry about that, in my opinion. It's just, it's a crappy spot.
New drive-through.
Yeah. But it's a crappy spot for that little section of roadway.
Yeah.
And, you know how people are, they just they want the most convenient thing ever. So they wanna park, you know, if they
Long
could, they
way.
park in your business, so that they didn't have to get out of their car, right? It's the way of the world now. But yeah, we'll look at it, and I'll do whatever I can to help you. And if you know, the only problem is that I have to leave the signs up, meaning at Wyker.
Oh, okay.
So that way, it alleviates a complaint for me. But the other side of the street, I have no issue taking them down
Yeah.
and painting some lines, and we can do that.
Yeah.
But we just gotta leave the sign up at Wyker, so we don't run into the same complaints.
They were a complaint.
Correct.
He already said 3 spots would do it.
Yeah, and that'll do that.
Yeah.
And you can even above Wyker, you can get another spot. You know what I mean? Like, I'm only talking like where the mailbox is, we'll just make sure that that's no parking.
Yeah.
And up above, they can park, and then on the other side, they can park.
Mhm.
So.
I mean, that's our jurisdiction, our township streets.
Yeah.
And I'm getting like over 200 customers in the weekend.
Mhm.
It's very busy and everybody.
I know, I'm one
Come
that's
and
good.
talk to me.
I said, I know, I come on, it's good.
You make a good bagel. I'm there every time in town.
I remember I see you.
Every time I'm doing inspections, I stop by, and I park in the back, and I walk up.
Because
Yeah,
you
well,
get your exercise before you leave your bed.
Can I leave?
Get some sleep.
Have a great night.
All right, seeing there's no other business, I have a motion to adjourn.
Everybody in favor?
Absolutely.
Okay.